Spelling You See, Level B. This is the Jack and Jill level, which they're covering nursery rhymes. And so each week, they'll cover the same rhyme for every day of the week that you do the spelling program. And they're pulling different things out of it, looking for different patterns, underlining different words. Then they'll copy out parts of it, and then you'll do dictation of, at the beginning, just words, but as the levels progress, you would be dictating whole passages that they could copy. Now, I was looking for something that was a little bit more bookworky because recently we had 2 illnesses back to back and I really couldn't read, and that derailed our living books, reading aloud homeschool a lot. And so I was like, okay, let me find something where it's right where we're at as far as the skills that my kids need to practice anyway, but not necessarily something that I need to read a lot of words to do. And that's where I found Spelling You See. Hello, Echo from the future here. And I gave my son this book, and within 24 hours, he had written all of the copy work. Oh my gosh. So maybe we have a workbook student in this house. I couldn't believe it. And he did as much dictation as I had time to do with him. So yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully the second book goes a little bit slower. I don't know if I can order the books fast enough. So I'm going to give you a look inside the workbooks and this instructor handbook so you can see how it's set up and how it works. One thing that I really like in here is the mindset that I see. And let me give you an example of that. In the instructor's handbook, page 35, it's talking about dictation. And it says, if the dictation is labor intensive and the student is struggling, it may be beneficial to use the same words repeatedly to build the student's confidence and speed. This is not cheating. Your student must feel successful. Let him leave with a smile on his face and feeling good about what he just accomplished. Do whatever you need to do to make the dictation exercise fun and easy. Be patient and stay positive. The most important thing is solid understanding, not how much you accomplish in any given day or how quickly you cover the material. I love that mindset. Yes, how many times are we frustrating our children or just pushing them along and making learning not fun? So doing our best to try to make it, even though it's work, and work isn't always fun, but doing our best to make it an enjoyable experience and something that they'll remember too and learn. All right, so with all that said, time for a look inside, time for a real page turner. All right, Spelling You See, Level B, Jack and Jill. Now, there's an instructor's handbook. This isn't very thick, just a few pages, a light book. Then there are these 2 workbooks. These are thicker, and I will show you inside those in a minute. Let's just talk about the instructor's handbook for a minute. You do want to get the instructor's handbook because this does have valuable information. It has the dictation lists as well as showing you how the things should be marked up as the students work on the pages. So that'll make it a lot easier when you're looking through to correct their work. So there are the table of contents. It talks in the beginning about the why behind it, the stages of spelling development that they believe in. And so this particular set starts at stage 2 and brings them up into stage 3. And talks about how they're using the nursery rhymes and different skills and tips. Now, if you don't want to read all the backstory and understand why they're doing it and what's important to them, that's okay. You can skip that part. You can just come right here to the lesson section. And I put tabs at the top so it'll be easy for me to flip through. It does make it really quick and simple. Lesson 1, this is the only little bit that you might have to read about the lesson. Lesson 2, and some of them get really short as you get going along. It kind of depends on if they're learning something new, I think. But as you're going through, you'll see that the different lessons, have different amounts of information that you're going to be looking at. And even some of these things, it looks like they kind of repeat some things, but this would definitely be encouraging. If you're not 100% sure with the teaching, or if you just want a little bit more information on what they're looking for, or just to remind yourself, some of the things that they talk about in here are not frustrating the student and looking for the things that they spell right, not the things that they spell wrong. And so it's really good. I like that. a big premise behind this is chunking and looking for different chunks in their workbook so that they're becoming aware of how things are spelled similarly or different. So it does have this kind of cheat sheet here of how they chunk things together. Then it talks a little bit about the no rule day. This you can implement 1 day a week. And they say it's okay if you don't finish all the pages in the workbook. Just move on to the next lesson for the next week. And then the letterbox dictation, you'll see as we look in there that there are these boxes for the letters. And then passage dictation, how you would be doing that. And then they have frequently asked questions. Very positive. I really like the mindset behind this, you know, helping your child and talking them through things. And, you know, it's a really, really good mindset from what I've seen for their advice. Here it tells you their dictation that you're doing. So it gives each lesson. Some of them do have the words written down, like lesson 1 already has cat, gas, and dad written down, but it's still in here, which is nice because then you can just see. And then let's say that your child is struggling with the, you know, bid, lip, and him, and they need work on that short I sound. Well, they have these other lists of just the short I sounds. So they said if your kid if this is overwhelming, the dictation words that you're doing, slow down. Do the same words each day so that they don't get overwhelmed by it. They're looking for success. They're looking for your kid to be encouraged, and I love that. And then if they need more practice on that, okay, go to these lists instead to practice that sound more often with your child until they are confident with it, and then you can move on to the next sound. Don't try to push them ahead. Just stay exactly where your child is at. Meet them where they're at. And then here are the passages for dictation, which happen later on. Probably in the second book would be my guess, because it moves along there. And then here at the end is the answer key. So you'll see here, you know, at the beginning, it's just Jill and Hill should be underlined. It's very simple. And from reading the lesson, you can see that. But as you get to the later lessons, like here, you'll see when they're starting to do the chunking, it's very nice to have the answer key because you can see right off what colors should be where and be really quick to go side by side. And also they have these laid out in the exact same way that they are in the book, which is so helpful. If you've ever had an answer key where this line is different from the line in the book, oh my gosh, what a pain. So really well thought out program here. And I think that is it for the teacher's guide. Yep. All right, on to the workbooks. Student workbook 1 and 2 are a little bit different because they are gaining skills. So workbook 1, you'll see, starts off really slow and gentle. They're writing just a little bit, just a few words. This is their copywork part. Now for copywork, they said absolutely erase and rewrite to make sure that the handwriting on this is done correctly, like if a letter is backwards or if something is misspelled or anything like that. But then on this side with the dictation and stuff, they said don't be as picky with the handwriting. Be more about that it's just that you can actually read it, but don't be picky about it being perfect. So every one is set up the same. There's the first page, which is looking at the poem that you're working on and doing the copywork, and then the second page is writing and dictation. Each page has simple instructions up at the top. Like here, it's read the rhyme with your student, say it together and clap in rhythm, read it together slowly, have the student point to each word as you read, help your student find and underline words that begin with capital J. So there's always just these simple instructions at the beginning. Clapping together, from what I've understand, would just be clapping on the syllable. So to fetch a pail of water. So super simple. And with them running their finger under, it talks about why they should do that, how it's training their eye to follow their finger. And so there's lots of reasoning behind the simple things. For the first bit, it does remind you that to check their pencil grip, and you can follow the handwriting guide, which is right here in the back, as far as forming letters. And they said too why it's important that they form letters certain ways because it's just simpler. And make sure that they are practicing their lowercase letters and also that they're saying the sound as they write it. So we'll check off the checklist, or at least visually just be like, oh yeah, that's right. Those are the things that we're working on right now. Now each week is broken up with the same poem. And you'll see it says the week number at the beginning. So 1, and 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and 1E. There's 5 of them. And like I said, you will end up skipping one of these if you do the no rule day, which is fine. They have it set up for that. And they said too, you know, if you only do it 4 days a week, skip the last one and start 2 for week 2. And that way the kid is continuing to move on. They said all the sounds that are in here keep getting repeated, and so it is fine to do that. And they want the child to feel like they're making progress and moving ahead. Okay, so you can see here at the beginning, the dictation, they already have them kind of printed out, so the child is copying it there. But as we go along, they will not have them written out, and you will dictate them from your list in the instructor's handbook. And each week starts a new poem that you're working on. So you can see how it moves ahead, but otherwise pretty much set up the same all the way throughout. You can see there's more dictation. The other thing that they said with the dictation is you only do it for 10 minutes. You set the alarm, unless alarms are stressful for your child, obviously, then don't do it. But if it's fine or if it helps encourage them, it either shows them that they're not going to do it forever, or then they want to race the alarm, that they only do the dictation for 10 minutes and then they're done. And then you move on. You don't come back to it. I really like that. I feel like sometimes we're just, so focused on really trying to finish a book or get our kids to just do every single little page and problem, and that can be discouraging. So, and especially if they're getting it, just keep moving on. Now for the second student workbook, you'll see it's going to change a little bit here. So here again, it's read the rhyme with your student, say it together, clap in rhythm, read it together slowly, have them point. But now they're going to add in a vowel chunk. And it explains what it is, 2 vowels that make one sound. It shows what it is, and they want them to put yellow on them. Use a yellow pencil or highlighter for them. And some of these sets come with the erasable pencils, colored pencils, which is nice. So your student will go through like this, check those. And then over here is the copy work that they're doing. So you can see that it's definitely growing. So just the reading, the vowel chunking, and then the copy work for a few of the days. And they actually have the no rule day set up in here. So maybe you even start it now in book 2. You can just, for book 1, maybe don't do the no rule day, or do it depending on if you think it's going to be a good fit for your kids or not, which is basically like free-for-all writing and stuff. But up to you on that one. But here it is written in, so it's ready to go for the no rule day, and then the last day is when there is dictation. And then it's going to follow that similar pattern. So sometimes they're looking for one thing, like here the vowel chunks, but then here silent E, and I like how they underline it with a color that the child is going to use too. That's helping visually. So they're finding the same things every day. Same thing, the vowel chunks and the silent E. And then writing it from dictation on that last day again. Okay, we'll slide ahead a little bit here. Okay, so here's week 25. Here's day A, the first day of the week. The things that they're finding, it says read the rhyme to your student, read it together, have them point, mark the vowel chunks, the bossy R chunks in the colors, and they're showing them down here so the kid can see what they're looking for, and the copy work. Same thing with day 2. Same thing with day 3. Day 4, they have it set up again with that no rule day. And then day 5, you have the dictation. Very streamlined. And like they said too, if you don't do it one of those days, that's fine, because you can see they're practicing the same skills each day of the week. So that is fine. Here, there's more room for the dictation. Again, only 10 minutes of that though. So that's pretty much how it's set up. It seems very straightforward. I'm really looking forward to starting it with my kids. I think this is going to be a reasonable thing to add to our homeschool at this time. Hope this was a helpful look inside. Remember that real life is messy and beautiful, and better with books. Read this rhyme with your student. Say it together and clap in rhythm. So that would be one clap. Shh. No, Timber. All right, where were we? Okay, I don't know where we were, but I'm starting over. 5 days to the week. And your Timber, stop. 1, and it's going to be the same. Oh, I know, I was reading this. Okay, now where's the dictation? No rule day. Oh, good, they have it written in. What I said there was fine, right? Oh, goodness. Okay.